and I met you just out in the lobby.
Yes.
And you looked at my shoes, and the first thing you said to me was, "You're an idiot."
Yeah.
That's exactly the kind of greeting I was expecting. But no, because I've got these foot gloves.
Yeah.
Which are actually, because I genuinely I've had foot problems for quite a few years.
Okay.
And they've sorted me out.
All right. Well, yeah. I'm not saying they're a bad thing. They work for some.
Okay. But you're not convinced by
No,
the
not at all. I mean, all the stuff that I do, it'd be an absolute disaster. Unless I was driving somewhere, and even then, no.
You're the sort of person, because I mean I've seen you do stand-up a couple of times, and you're the kind of person who stuff happens to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not orchestrated at all. Do you find it just, you go out and things occur, and you just talk about those things?
Yeah, well, it's not like I step out the front door and it just, oh my God, I'm the victim. I definitely put myself in harm's way, so... and when that happens, you have positive outcomes, and sometimes you don't have positive outcomes. So,
yeah.
And also, this ain't my island, So, I'm still an expat, and no matter how funny or how original or how much traveling I do, I will never be able to take advantage of something if I was English, British.
Still, yeah. So you're still an outsider here.
Oh God, I will be forever.
Yeah.
Never, forever. Yeah.
And it will never be home.
Well, I mean, it is. I mean, I got a house here with my wife, and she's English. But as far as the business goes, I will always be the outsider. Always. I mean, when you're sitting in meetings with the BBC and you run a pilot, and they watch the pilot and they go, "Oh, that's nice," but and then they look at you and they go, "But your host has the wrong accent," and you go, "Well, I can't really change that." So, and that's the end of that.
Is that the attitude you get?
Oh, God, yeah. So, and there's a couple of ways you can take it. And also, I always tell people I'm too old, too white, too American. And in that order. So, and I can't change any of that. So you have to take some conscious decisions. You go, well, do I get real bitter and write blogs and tweet about it? Or do I just kind of move on into other ways of expressing myself? So,
is that the best place to be, though, as a comic? You're an outsider, and that's...
You would think.
Yeah.
It's weird because I've talked to other people about this, and they're like, well, I'm sure comics from the UK who live in America have the same problem. I'm like, no, I don't. Americans love the accent. Love it. Mm-hmm. So when I was home in January, I was watching shows that anything from home improvement, DIY stuff, to car shows, to sports stuff. And they're like, yeah, we're out here with Bob helping out, Hey, what do you think, Ian? I'm like, where the hell did this prick come from, right? If I mean, all the stuff I know how to weld and build houses and fix cars and build motorcycles, and I climb mountains, and hey, honestly, it would be one of those things to where, hey, we need somebody who can whitewater raft and climb frozen waterfalls and ride hardtail motorcycles that he's built. Who should we get? And I'd be raising my hand, and they'd go, I wonder if we can train Sean Walsh to do that. They would actually take that avenue, and part of the reason is the UK, you guys, you don't need more American accents here because you buy American accents. You have, the Big Bang, and you rerun the shit out of Scrubs, and and everything else. And so you have all these shows, which are great shows. So boom, there it is. And it's cheaper for you to write a check and get a shitload of viewers to watch that than it is to have my cracker ass rock up and go, hi, I'm Dave, and I built this. And so, we got the Discovery Channel. We can watch, those cunts on Orange County Chopper, build those jukeboxes on two wheels that don't hold together. So why do we need you? So you go, all right. Nice. Good point. I think I'm bringing something to the equation, but if you don't need me, I can't convince you otherwise. And also the demographic for comedy in the UK is kind of, there was a cutoff. And I used to like to say that I quit showing up on TV after Harry Thompson died. You know who Harry Thompson was? He came up with Never Mind the Buzzcocks and Have I Got News for You and stuff. And he died of cancer in 2005, 2006, I think it was. I loved Harry, and I miss him, but he... suddenly this huge demographic just did this paradigm shift, and if you weren't like Phil Jupitus or you know, some of these guys have been around for a long time. Not to say that Phil doesn't deserve everything he's got, he does. You know, you're out. So I always tell people, if you see me on television, it's because I can't afford Rich Hall, and I can't do a really good accent like I'm the maid from Tom and Jerry.
So with Rich Hall, he just got in there soon enough.
Well,
did he?
also Rich showed up here. I mean, I didn't show up here with any credits. I was an accident. I didn't come here with any kind of game plan. I'm not a career-minded individual. Holy shit! All the Canadians came over here because they can't get into America, and you know, and I just showed up because like, what's over here? You know, and that was about it. And you know, and Rich came here with an Emmy. I mean, he wrote for frickin' Saturday Night Live, and you know, he's great. He's an amazing writer, and he's a great guy. So he showed up as Rich Hall. You know, I showed up as who are you? You know, that kind of thing. And you look at guys like Reg Hunter, who, you know, he's a black guy. He's an actor. He went to RADA, and he got into comedy, and he just, you know, he had a keen ability to do it, and so it's a great, a really amazing anthropological experiment. I was working on some projects with some guys at Universal 3.5 years ago, and I mentioned Reg's name. And they looked him up on YouTube, and we had a conference call a week later, and they were convinced he was English.
Really?
Yeah, doing an accent for a Southern black guy.
Crazy.
Because Southern black comics don't sound like that.
Right, okay.
You know,
yeah.
But Reg is smart, man. He realized the powers to be, like their Southern black guys, go, well, when my mama grew up, we was talking about the... Really? What is this, Song of the South? What are you, Tar Baby? You know? But he's doing exceptionally well, and he's keyed in on that, and more power to him, yeah.
So you were saying, I mean, you can weld, you can do
Yeah.
all these, you can fix cars. So why do you stick with the comedy?
It's the easiest job I've ever had. It is. It's a piece of piss, you know?
Just because you can get up and just do it.
Yeah, well, I'm not trying to brag or nothing, but, you know, I've had real jobs. I have a degree in music composition and played trombone and used to write symphonies and shit like that. And you know, but I've worked in mines and I was a logger and I've, you know, had my hands dirty. And yeah, I'm in a hotel in Cardiff eating Doritos watching movies. What are you, fucking kidding me? Holy shit. It allows me the time off to go climbing. Last week I was in Scotland. I climbed the north face of Ben Nevis. I did Point 5 Gully, which is one of the all-time famous classic climbs from, you know, umpteen years ago. And, you know, I got a chance to get on that. So, yeah, it was great.
So is it a love of stand-up as well? Or
Yeah, I like doing stand-up. And comedy's really subjective. I mean, really subjective. You know, you get a room full of people and you tell them one joke and someone will go, yeah, I heard it. No, I like that. That's great. You know, get off. And so, yeah, there's always that. I mean, the cool thing about the curse and the blessing is it's really cool to walk out in front of an audience of people who don't know who the fuck you are. You know, and they've come to a comedy club and they want to see comedy, you know, so you got to come out there swinging, you know, because they don't, and you got to win them. You got to win them. I like that challenge, you know, and I think a lot of the people that, who are now touring and have these fan base, you know, they get lazy. You don't have to write anything involved and that kind of thing.
Something's lost there.
Yeah, you can kind of just read a phone book and like, oh man, you read a phone book. Oh my God, that's my favorite phone book ever. You know, that's why guys like Louis C.K. and Bill Burr I have the most respect for, because these guys constantly turn their material over. You know, because they feel the pressure of being original and stuff. It was weird. You know, when I first came here, I really got serious about coming here like 12, 13 years ago. I've been doing comedy 25 years, by the way. You know, I saw the UK as being like 10 years ahead of America. All kinds of cool shit was happening. People were going to Edinburgh and working on an hour and coming up with weird stuff. And now, when you go to Edinburgh, you better have your fucking, you know, poop group, man. If you go up there and go, oh, I'm going to be working on my hour and hopefully by the end of the month I'll have something going, they will crucify you. You have to have a TV-tight 1 hour set before you hit the ground there. But anyway, I think the way comedy's gone here, it's like you're now like 12 years behind America, you know, which is sad. I mean, I was back home doing shows at Acme Comedy Club in November, and I go back still. I still do shows back home. Yeah. And I was doing podcast, and you know, I did like 3 podcasts from 3 different people, and they're not doing it because they're hoping that the BBC or some channel calls them and goes, oh my God, we love your podcast, we're going to give you your own talk show. They just do it for the love of doing it and sitting down and talking to people. So this, in some sense, is like a video podcast. Yeah. You know, and there is a whole group of people in America. Guys in America are getting booked on the popularity of their podcasts. from Mark Maron all the way down, Ari Schaefer, everybody, you know. And I asked Marcus Brigstock, how come you English, you Brits are not doing these fucking podcasts? And he says, because we're so used to getting paid. We can't imagine doing something for free. And I said, well, you better fucking start imagining, you know, because the time will come where because this is an island. There's only so many comedy fans. So when these guys do a stadium tour and they pack out 10,000 people, oh my God, Jack Whitehall, who's going to be doing a stadium tour in 2014, which is wild because he hasn't even bought his set yet, is they're going to be, you know, there's going to be 10,000 people in this place, you know? And that's, for the most part, that's 50 weeks of a comedy club gone.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not like these people are going to go, oh, we're going to see Jack Whitehall, you know, tonight, and then we'll go to Acme, or we're going to go to, you know, the Glee on Friday. They won't. They just won't go see comedy that month, you know? So, because everybody's touring. And, yeah, it's wild. I mean, because I think about all the television shit I got the first half of 2000, and if I would have got that the second half of 2000, my agent would be going, we got to tour you, man. We got to tour you, you know? And so, yeah, it's crazy.
It's all about timing and almost randomness.
And also the people who are putting these people on television are controlling who is touring, you know, for the most part. Not everybody, but for the most part. I mean, people have come to me and said, you know, if you started touring now, you could make the run and get into these, you know, 300-seater auditoriums or 200-seater auditoriums. Yeah, maybe you'll sell 50. But when you come back the next year, you might sell 150, you know, and you keep building up. But if you're on, you know, Uncle fucking Chucky's Muckle Hut hour and you're talking about bullshit, you know, aren't buses weird? Oh, I had a chocolate ice cream. Thanks, good night. You know, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Boom. You know, people are like, oh, he's the guy from Uncle Monkey fucking Chuck hour kind of thing. And they go see him. and the people that decide he was on that show didn't decide because, you know, oh my God, he's the funniest fucker out there. That helped a bit. It was like, we need to fucking appeal to a demographic, you know? So right now, aside from Rich Hall, tell me, who's on tour right now who's over the age of 40?
Yeah, no.
Nobody, you know? Is there anybody over the age of 40 that's funny? Fucking hell of a lot of people. But they don't have the exposure that would support a tour. And so, you know, you just kind of have to do that. And, I mean, my agent, you know, off the curb, God love them, you know, they're doing what they can. You know, they throw my biscuit against the wall. It hardly fucking sticks. And I asked him 5 years ago, hey, what do I got to do to get on Live at the Apollo? And they looked at me and they said, you have to be the darling of the BBC. The BBC has to like you. If they don't like you, you ain't on that show. You know, if you don't have some sort of, you know, same thing with the Dave, the one night stand. Oh, we're finding new comedy. No, you're not. You're not. Sorry. I mean, these guys who are hosting it would go, I want this guy, and this guy. And Dave would go, no, all right. You know, they go, yeah, we want you to pick whoever you want as long as it's on our list. You know?
Oh, I see. But what you're saying about the States, do they have the culture of making an hour, though?
Oh, yeah.
That was
and also, you know, when you do an hour in the States, the cool thing about it, it's not like an Edinburgh hour. Edinburgh hours are pretty much, I mean, you look at most Edinburgh shows, it's 10 minutes of emceeing, you know, the show, and then it's a couple jokes, and then tragedy. My dad died. Oh, you know, and then you talk about, oh, I didn't get things together with him, and you make a joke about that, and my life is better, and now I'm here with you. Yay, thanks, good night, you know.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, he's emoting. That's fantastic. If I got on stage in America for a 1 hour set, you know, and 20 minutes into it, and then my mom died, and we were all pretty mad. I lost blood. There'd be people in the crowd going, what the fuck is this? I didn't come to listen to you. Are you fucking kidding me? You cunt. You know? So you get wall to wall, you know.
But when you went to Edinburgh, did you very much do your own thing?
Yeah, totally. Which I love Edinburgh. I think Edinburgh, in theory, is a fantastic idea. You know, a chance for a comic to kind of stretch and do stuff like the tragedy hour, you know, or something weird, or, you know, props, or multimedia, or whatever, you know, shit you would never get away with, because here most of your clubs are all 20-minute sets, you know. Unfortunately, you know, there's you know, the area where the Gilded Balloon and the Belly and the Pleasance, I used to call it the green zone, you know, the safety area. You know, they kind of, it'll feed upon themselves, you know, and there's a lot of money that has to be spent to get, you know, big posters that homeless people live under for 11 months out of the year. Massive fucking posters. And, you know, I think it'd be really cool to see Edinburgh kind of more lean toward, yeah, we've seen that guy because he's on television and he's, you know, he has tape on his face and he was on the Royal Variety Show. Fantastic. But I kind of want to see somebody nobody's ever heard of and is funny. So they're going to go to the Free Fringe, because that is the Fringe. that is truly the Fringe. I mean, there's the Edinburgh Festival, there's the Edinburgh Comedy Festival, and then there's the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. And the Comedy Festival is just chewing up audience members, fucking chewing them up. You know, so I did Edinburgh in 2011. Had a nice show, I was pretty happy with. You know, I was on 11:20 in a weird venue with the stand. Nice people, the stand, man, great. And, 60-seater. And I was getting reviews, half full, venues. And I would get reviews like, why is this place not full? This is a great show. You know, like, well, thanks. And that was the end of that.
So would you consider going back to the free festival then? Is that how you do it?
If for some reason I lost any kind of semblance of, sanity, yeah, I'd go back to Free Fringe. But I'm kind of moving in a direction that Edinburgh doesn't really lend itself to helping me. So
what's your direction now? What are you trying to do?
Film stuff. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And what sort of...
I'm doing a series of 5 short films that'll be hosted. We'll have a celebrity host. We've already shot 4.
I see.
And we'll shoot the 5th one probably end of April. We had to push it back a month. Mm-hmm. They're all 10 minutes or less.
Yeah.
And the first 2 have already been out doing the festival circuit. You can't see them. Sorry. Mm-hmm. And then we'll put all those 5 with a host on a DVD and sell it online, video on demand.
That's how to do it now.
Yeah, the days of, I'm shooting a DVD Tuesday in a really small venue in London, and production cost will be under £1,000, and we'll slam it on the internet, and and people can download it for like $2.50. And and you won't have a physical copy of it. But you can see it as much as you want for what you paid, because the days of, oh look, I got my DVD. You're an idiot. You have a physical DVD. You're an idiot. You're holding up thousands of pounds in your hand, and you've got to just forget the physical, the tactile idea of a DVD and put that shit online. Otherwise, you are fucked.
It's the alternative way of doing it.
It's how everything's going to go.
Yeah.
Everything. Right. So I'm doing a series of 5 shorts. And the people I've been really, really fortunate. Friends of mine who've been involved in this. I've had Ahmed Jalili, Michael Smiley, Phil Jupitus, Josie Lawrence, John Voice, Andre Vincent, Stephen First, Josie Walker, Andrew Maxwell, Tiffany Stevenson, Julie Cohen, Catherine Drysdale, hopefully Doc Brown is going to get involved, and then we'll put the whole thing together as a 1 hour plus thing, and and then we'll market that. And all my shorts, they're not sketches. Sketches suck. I'm tired of sketches, man. Oh look, a guy's in a dress. It'll be pretty much like a 10-minute or less dramatic situation with comedic consequences.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's almost like drama or something. I don't know.
No, I mean, the first one is with Ahmed and Michael, and Michael's working behind the counter at a petrol station, and Ahmed comes in needing petrol, and he doesn't have the money, and he ends up robbing the petrol station with a gun. Yeah, but he's so shit at it, and pissing off Michael behind the counter, and Michael tells him, "You are crap at this." And so Ahmed's at the end of his rope, and he asks him, "Can you give me some pointers?" And he talks him into teaching him how to rob a petrol station. So they switch roles. And Michael, gets the gun, which they find out is fake, which pisses him off. And Ahmed wears the little smock that he's the employee, and he's behind the counter. And Michael ends up robbing Ahmed and leaving with the money and leaving Ahmed behind the counter. So a customer walks in and goes, "I need 10 pounds of number 4," and Ahmed's like, and that's how it ends. So a lot of that is kind of that stuff. So.
It's been a pleasure, Dave. Thanks so much for coming. That's it.
I'm sorry, am I just chewing up the scenery here?
No, that's very good. Thank you very much.
Okay, I wasn't too racist.